name is Steve Campbell. I'm the director of the Scenic Regional Library. Welcome to our candidate forum tonight for the Republican primary for the Gasconade County presiding commissioner race. The forum is being broadcast live. Sarah O'Daniel, our marketing person here, she's going to be broadcasting it live on our social media pages, and we'll also be recording this and archiving it on YouTube. So if you know anyone you want to show this to, you can go to the library, Scenic Regional Library's YouTube page probably later this week, and it will be available on there to watch. We also have the county's two newspapers here, the Gasconade County Republican and the Herman Advertiser-Courier, who will both be, I'm sure, reporting about the forum. So I think we're going to have some really great coverage even beyond what's here tonight. Our candidates tonight are Tim Schulte, the Gasconade County presiding commissioner, our incumbent, and Mark Mundweller, our challenger. Our moderators are Megan Maurer, who is Scenic Regional Library's assistant director. I'm going to stand up, Megan. Show yeah, let them see you at least. Okay. And Tiffany Richards, our adult programming coordinator. Used to be our Herman branch manager, for those of you who might remember her from that job. Our forum tonight will be approximately 60 minutes long. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to provide opening remarks, and another minute at the end for closing remarks. And our list of questions have been submitted by the public. The candidates received the list of questions 15 minutes prior to the forum, and we'll ask as many as we can get through in the hour once I stop talking. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. There will be no rebuttals, it's just answering the question and then we'll move on. And a candidate can ask to have the question repeated if they need to. Commissioner Schulte will be asked the first question, and Mr. Mundweller will be asked the second question first, so we're going to rotate back and forth like that. The moderator who is not asking a question will serve as the timekeeper. They'll be going back and forth. So the timekeeper will show a yellow card when it's 30 seconds remaining, and a red card when it's time on. So I ask everybody to silence your phones, and please no talking during the forum. Thank you very much. Candidates, good luck.
All right, we will start with the opening remarks, and start with the incumbent. You have 1 minute for your opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. I'd also like to thank the library for hosting this, along with my opponent, Mark Mundweller, for joining me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about the future of Gasconade County. I was inspired to run for this position by my late mother, Judy Schulte, who served Gasconade County Circuit Clerk and Recorder of Deeds for 4 terms. She instilled in me a passion for county government and a desire to serve. I was born and raised in Herman and now live on a small farm between Herman and Swift with my wife and 2 daughters. After studying business management at the University of Missouri, I spent more than 40 years in road and bridge construction. In 2022, I was honored to be elected presiding commissioner during my first term. We've kept the county on budget or under budget, avoided new tax referendums, and retained valuable employees with well-earned raises and benefits. I am proud of what we accomplished and look forward to continuing that work. Thank you.
Mr.
Good evening,
Mundweller.
good afternoon. I'm Mark Mundweller. I've been a resident of Herman for 60 plus years. I'm married to Pat Mundweller. We have 3 children, 5 granddaughters, and our first grandson is due in October. I've been in the construction field for over 40 years. My background consists of custom-built homes, structural concrete for hospitals, schools, high-rise buildings, convention centers, parking garages, specializing in operable partition walls for the last several years. I'm a 40-year member of the local 1839 Mid-America Carpenters. I also am a member of the Republican Club, a member of St. George Church, a member of East Central Angus Association, and a lifetime member of the American Angus Association since 1971. My wife and I own and operate Mundweller Angus Farm just south of Herman. I retired 3 weeks ago from the St. Louis grind, and I'm running for presiding commissioner in Gasconade County, and I'm ready to be your full-time commissioner.
All right, our first question will start with Mr. Schulte. What would be your top priority if elected or re-elected, and what county policies or practices do you believe should be changed?
Top priority is probably maintaining what we got. That comes to roads, our bridges that we have, our buildings, our grounds, and the employees that are valuable to us. The practices that should be changed is probably gonna be, you guys have been hearing a lot about the SB 190 and SB 3. There is gonna be a petition coming out, I believe, this Thursday. And depending on what happens with the SB 3 bill, this policy at the courthouse, which we currently are waiting on from the judge, is going to probably be changed, or it's going to the vote of the people. So right now, it's kind of in limbo. We took a wait and see approach, and I think the writing is on the wall for SB 190. That's it.
Mr. Mundmuller, the floor is yours.
I agree with Tim, is with the fact that we need to kind of hold what we have, take care of what we have, except for just a few things. I think the people in the road department deserve a raise, a big raise. We're having trouble keeping employees. We're losing to the data center, and even prior to the data center, we were losing employees. We've got to keep these guys happy. I mean, and keep them working for the county, and so we don't have a big turnover. Right now, from what I understand, we've got the highest turnover rate that we've had in a long time as far as trying to keep employees on the road department. We just lost another man to the data center 2 weeks ago. I think it's time to take a big look at what these guys are making. You know, you got people that are coming out on weekends and holidays and getting trees off the road and everything else, and taking care of this county. So let's start putting some money back in their pocket. I don't expect anybody to get a phone call at 2 in the morning if there's a tree over the top of the road you can't get through, and they just get a regular pay. So we need to open up the coffers a little bit and take care of the people that are taking care of us.
Thank you. Second question, what do you believe are the 3 biggest issues facing this county over the next 4 years? And what would you do about them as presiding commissioner?
But it looks like in the next few years, we're probably gonna be facing some decreases in taxes as far as what the county has come through, as far as what's available to them. I know there's a lot of concern from people about the data centers. Right now, I don't think we have a data center problem. There's been absolutely no rumblings or questions or anything like that as far as wanting a data center to come to Gasconade County. If there is, I don't know just how much research we need to do on it, because we've had a lot of research with the ones that are in Jefferson County and Franklin County and in Montgomery County, and I don't know exactly how many of these things that we're going to have. You know, are they going to be built on top of each other? I don't know. I honestly feel that we're too far away from an interstate to actually make them feasible. So I'm not sure that a data center is a big thing. As far as taking care of the county equipment, we've got over $1 million of equipment sitting outside 24 hours a day. We need to get these things in the shed at night, on weekends, and wintertime. We can't be waiting on these things to thaw out with ice, get them road ready, and so we need to go, they need to go. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage here, because I've been working in St. Louis for 40 years, so I'm gonna learn as I go here, just like a lot of people are in this room, so that's all I got.
The 3 biggest issues right now is probably inflation, diesel fuel, asphalt, rock. Most of our rock that we would like to get is going up to New Florence right now. And as you know, there's not much competition from the quarries, so they can pretty much name their own price. Retention of employees. Mark alluded to it a while ago. It is an issue. We have lost some of our help in the courthouse and the clerical positions, and we have also lost guys at the sheriff's department for competition reasons, and we've lost people at our road department. So I think we got a pretty good benefit package for our troops, but like Mark said, we need to bump that up a little bit if we can. And then we have to take care of our building. In my mind, it's the prettiest courthouse in the state of Missouri. She's got a lot of work that's been done to her, the roof, the exterior, the steps. But overall, the county's in pretty good shape. And I'm pleased with what we've done in the past 4 years to maintain what we've got. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Schulte, we're starting back with you again.
Okay.
Are you in favor of allowing data centers in Gasconade County? Why or why not? Would you support a temporary moratorium while the county studies zoning, infrastructure, water, energy, and tax issues related to data centers?
I'm not in favor of data centers. I like to say we live out in God's country. I-70 is probably a better place for a data center. Franklin County with more population. That's why we live here in Gasconade County. 15,000 people. I would like to keep it that way. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the jobs, but I think commuting is probably an option for somebody that does want the data centers. I do know that Herman is probably reaping some benefits of the data center as they have joined the, what's the name of it? Port Authority, thank you. Got stuck there. And I know the school will benefit from it. So, no, I'm not in favor of data centers. As far as a moratorium, Ron and Jim have briefly discussed it. I think moving forward here, we're gonna have to put something in place for protections of the county. Some people in Gasconade County may want it. And, you know, I welcome all comments on it, but I just don't think it's a right fit for Gasconade County. We're a small class 3 county. We like the beauty of our county. I hate to see the farmland destroyed, whether it's a data center or windmill farms or solar farms. I'm just not crazy about it. That's my opinion. But I'll take all comments of it that people want it or don't want it. So that's all. Thank you.
Mr. Mundmuller, same question, the floor is yours.
I touched on this a little bit on the prior question, and I honestly agree with 100% on everything that Tim said about this. I'm not real comfortable about building a building that encompasses the whole city limits of Herman, and in a matter of 5 to 7 years, they're gonna be able to, instead of having this big building to do whatever they're doing, they can do it in a room this size. So what are we gonna do with this big concrete mass that's up here in Montgomery County at the point? So I don't even wanna be addressing that issue at this point for Gasconade County. It employs a heck of a lot of people as far as being built. Once it is built, from what I understand, you're looking at 125 to 150 employees on a daily basis, and I think that's on the high side. So I don't see I just don't see a good benefit for this area. I agree with Tim that I don't want to see thousands of acres of farm ground or hundreds of acres just being tore up. One thing that I think is going to separate us from everybody else is, if you're familiar with the Herman end of Gasconade County, we don't have a whole lot of flat ground to encompass a building that size. So I think that kind of puts us out of the running on anything like that. At least I hope so. I too am open to any kind of discussion on it. You know, prove me wrong. I'm new at this. We're all new at this data center thing. So we all need to open our eyes and get as much information on them as we can.
question. How would you improve transparency in the county budgeting and major spending decisions? Additionally, how would you ensure constituents are informed, have opportunities to provide input, and feel their voices are heard throughout the decision-making process? Mr. Manuel?
I think it's very important that the citizens of Gasconade County are informed about anything that's going on in this county as far as how the money is spent. I actually used to in the Herman paper, the county commission meeting minutes were published weekly in the paper. That was very informative for people. I'd like to see that done again. The Herman paper is turned into kind of a church bulletin thing for me, but we've got a heck of a newspaper on the south end of the county that I'm definitely gonna make a suggestion that they publish the minutes in the paper. I think that any project, big project that's over $300,000 or $400,000 that is faced with the county, let's put it to a vote, put it on the ballot, let's vote for it. I'm not in favor of just dropping $1 million here or $1 million there for something that just a few people are gonna actually benefit from. So that's kind of all I've got on that.
We just completed an audit, which we got a clean bill of health on. As for the minutes are on the county's website. I would agree with Mark. I would like to see them in the newspaper. And all meetings are open, unless it has something to do with a personnel decision. For a closed meeting, all meetings are open. Everybody is always welcome. I have never turned anybody down from speaking their mind. I've asked everybody. At the end of every meeting, I go around the room and ask anybody if they have anything to say. So, credit to our staff for all offices were audited, clean bill of health. Can't say enough about them, but come to the meetings. Kind of like going to Owensville. Their city officials are there. They have good turnout down there. For some reason, we just don't get that at the courthouse in Herman. I don't know why. It's a little bit bothersome, but please come to the meetings. That's it. Thank you.
What specific steps would the county take to address shifting population and attract new residents, workers, and families?
I talked to my daughters about this a little bit. They're ready to move out of Herman. Maybe that's because of me and Michelle getting on her butt, but possibly we could offer Chapter 100 bonds to entice a business to come here. I currently serve on the Herman Regional Economic Development Board. We always have our ear out for anything that might be coming down the pipeline, but folks, there's just not much going on out there right now. I know the city of Herman is actively pursuing businesses to come in all the time, but man, if you don't throw them a lot of money, they're not coming. So if somebody wants to put a business out in the county, we may entice them with some Chapter 100 bonds. I know Ron Hardeke, the guy, our commissioner on the other end, he keeps his ear to the grindstone with the Chamber of Commerce in Owensville to see if anything's out there. We thought we might have landed an ammunition factory down there, but that didn't come to fruition. But sometimes it's word of mouth. Sometimes it's somebody that comes to Herman and visits, and they got a lot of money, and just maybe they are looking for a spot to put a manufacturing spot. So we're always hoping, we're always looking. Our ears are always open to possibly help somebody bring their business out to Herman or Owensville, Rosebud, anywhere. Thank you.
Once again, Gasconade County is kind of behind the 8 ball, especially in the urban area, as far as housing or, expanding having a factory or a business come here. Anybody that lives around here knows that our industrial park was built on top of a bluff. Our railroad spur is 500 feet straight down. So railroad commute, using the railroad to deliver products is out of the question. Housing, Herman was built in a bowl. We're surrounded by walls everywhere. If you go out Highway 100 west, there's some flat ground out there, but you're gonna have to get pretty far out of town before anybody's gonna start turning loose of that property for a factory or anything like that. It's a shame the few factories that we've had end up closing down or moving. I'm not quite sure what causes all that. It's probably competition and pay. And you got these big factories that are trying to just consolidate, and if they're closer to the city, they're in better shape. Owensville is in a lot better situation as far as collecting any kind of a new business, just because of their industrial park is built flat. Interstate 44 is close. I think that's that problem that we have for the whole county is we're right between 70 and 40, but it doesn't seem like it, or 70 and 44. It doesn't seem like the manufacturers want to take advantage of that, so I'm not quite sure what we can do. I agree with Tim on the Chapter 100 bonds to try and get some people in here, but thank you.
In 2023, the governor signed SB 190, establishing a senior property tax freeze option, which counties could choose to adopt or place before vote on the ballot. Gasconade did not adopt the program or refer to the ballot. What factors would guide your decision if a similar state option were presented again, and how would you view the county's role in implementing and referring to such measures?
Well, I can tell you this, what Tim said a few questions ago about people welcome to the county commissioner meetings. That's true. I've been to the last 3 or 4, and I've learned a lot just in a short time. And from what I understand with this SB 190 right now, the county, and correct me if I'm wrong, the county was advised to just sit back and let it ride and see what happens, because the judge is gonna make a decision. Evidently, from what we heard last week, I believe that that I think we're talking about putting it on the ballot for November. I'm not quite sure on that, maybe I'm speaking out of turn and too premature on that. But, you know, when people talk about the senior property tax freeze, there's one thing that when you're reading this, you don't realize is it says option behind it. And that's an option of to do it or not to do it. And Gasconade County chose not to do it at this point. I think a lot of these conditions were unknown. So I at this point, I don't know if I would have done anything any different than what the current administration has done, because everybody kind of went into this blind. So I honestly don't think I would change a whole lot of what the present commissioners have done. Thank you.
Just a brief oversight. Senate Bill 3 is not only 62 years and older for the property tax freeze, but it's 62 and under. It's everybody across the board. Senate Bill 3 is supposed to be ruled on July 28th, I believe. We held firm, we stood pat, we took a wait and see approach. We knew this was coming down the pipeline. We've talked to our legal counsel. He said, just sit tight. There's more legislation going on in Jeff City. So we elected to wait. Well, the time is now. Senate Bill 3, I think, is gonna get overturned by a judge and get thrown out. I may be wrong. If that's the case, there is a petition that has circulated that I believe is gonna be presented to the commission this Thursday's commission meeting. And by all means, we'll put it on the ballot. The reason that Senate Bill 3, in my mind, is unconstitutional. Herman High School out here has 4 different counties that attend this high school: Montgomery, Warren, Franklin, and Gasconade. I think 2 out of the 4 pay different taxing rates to that school. To me, that's not fair, but we'll let the judge decide that. So, at the end of the day, Senate Bill 190 will probably be put on the ballot after Clerk Leetzel checks the signatures, and then the people can decide yay or nay. And we'll see you in November. I want to make sure I answered all your questions. It says, what factors would guide your decision if similar state option were presented again? I think we do the same thing. You know, we have to do the wait and see. A lot of times these guys in Jeff City, my time is up. They're not good guys.
All right, I wanna, just make sure to clarify, the original question we asked was about SB 190, so I am gonna ask a question about SB 3, Mr. Schulte, so I just wanna make sure that you're following the correct question, because you were discussing both options, and I just wanna make sure that you are addressing the correct question that we asked, so I just wanted to let you know. So we're on question number 7, which is on April 7th, 2026, Gasconade County voters approved the SB 3 property tax assessment freeze. If upheld, what is your position on implementing SB 3 in the county, and how would you approach the balancing property tax relief with ensuring adequate funding for essential public services such as schools, hospitals, and other public services?
No disrespect to your question. I don't think you can answer the SB 190 question without talking about SB 3. If it's upheld, we'll probably go with SB 3. That's everybody, 62 and older and 62 and younger. You know, the people voted on it. We put it on the ballot for the constituents, and they said, yes, we want Senate Bill 3. So, as far as adequate funding for services, the school, the hospital, the library, you guys gotta tighten your belt, because if it's coming, that's what the people voted on. And I'm sorry to say that, you know, some of these taxing entities it's gonna hurt. So, the people decided, they've spoken, so we're gonna abide by what they said. That's it, thank you.
Mr. Mudwiller, the floor is yours.
Tim is exactly 100% correct. You can't have a conversation about SB 190 without talking about SB 3. I don't agree with the fact that if we're going to do a freeze, the wording of this thing, and I think that's probably why it's in limbo right now, is it's a tax freeze for everybody. The whole point of this, when it started, I believe, was a tax freeze for people that are over 62 that are on a fixed income. I don't think the people that are under 62 should receive this, but I think that's part of the problem with what's going on with it being held up at this point. You know, Gasconade County has a relatively low tax base as it is compared to other counties around us. You know, we're at a good time as far as the data center coming up north. Word has it with it being in our school district, that their school district is supposed to receive $500,000 a year off of their tax base, which, that's gonna help this area. I don't know, there's gonna be something that, is gonna go through the hospital and things like that. At this point, I don't think that number's ever been reached. So there's a lot of things that are probably coming down the pike that nobody knows about at this point. That's all I have.
Thank you. So number eight, the state's prisoner per diem reimbursement does not fully cover local costs, and Gasconade County pays boarding fees to house inmates in other counties. Would you support exploring regional jail consortium or other options to reduce transport and inmate boarding costs? Mr. Michael.
Absolutely, I would support this. We need a jail in this county. It's, the initial cost is gonna be gonna be expensive, but the money that we spend in transporting, and housing prisoners is unbelievable. We have prisoners in 4 different counties. I don't know if people realize this, but we have prisoners in Crawford County, Osage County, and Franklin County and Montgomery County. Just real quick, we had an instance that I do know of that in October a few years ago, we had a problem and had an unruly person on Highway 19 South. The sheriff was called, and female, strung out, had a lot of problems going on. They couldn't even arrest this girl because A, they don't have facilities for females, B, all the jails were full. So there she was. They just turned her out on the street. So yeah, we need to do something. And just the cost of transporting these prisoners and the miles that are being put on the vehicles, just for that, and the manpower that it takes to go get somebody from Crawford County or from Franklin County to get them up here to the courthouse. You know, a trip here or there, it's not bad, but when you've got, I was actually just talking to the sheriff last week about this, when you've got 60 prisoners, and just think about that a minute, 60 prisoners in Gasconade County. Who would have thought it? When I was a kid, I mean, we had one sheriff and we had one deputy. It's not like that anymore.
I disagree with Mark. It is way better to outsource. I don't feel like going after the taxpayers and asking for a $30 million bond increase to build a prison in Gasconade County or regional. We have met with Mary's in Osage County about a regional jail. There's no future in people. You have to build these things to Department of Corrections specifications, and it is a drop in the bucket what we pay compared to having your own jail. Shannon County's about to go bankrupt right now because of an unruly sheriff and prison or jail system that they got. No way do we need a jail. We do live in a different time. To build a $30 million jail facility, it's just not gonna happen. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Schulte. What should Gasconade County do to attract and retain businesses? Do you support tax abatements and other incentives for new businesses? And if so, what conditions should be required?
Like I said before, I'm a member of Herman Regional Economic Development. Our ears are to the pavement all the time looking for people to come in out here. The only thing I can think of or we could offer as a county is maybe Chapter 100 bonds to entice businesses to come here and hire our residents. So yes, I would support a tax abatement that way. I would like to see them, if they are building a building, maybe employ Gasconade County residents or buy lumber from a Gasconade County business or concrete from a Gasconade County business. Other than that, we touched on this one a couple questions back, but you know, all I can tell the businesses coming into town in the next 4 years, if I'm lucky to win this thing, is I don't want to put any more tax referendums on the voters in Gasconade County. So maybe that'll help entice them. Thank you.
I'm gonna agree with Tim on this. If a business wants to come to Gasconade County, come. I mean, we can't offer these businesses anything more than anybody else can with our tax base that we have. Maybe Franklin County can cough up some money and some bonds. We talked about the Chapter 100 bond. I mean, we talked about this a while ago on number 5. It was kind of a repeat of this. So, I don't know what we can do to try and get more businesses here. I wish I had the answer. I wish we all had the answer, because if we did, we'd have businesses lined up beating our door down for a place to put something up in this town and this county, but we don't. And I just don't have anything else on that.
The county recently used taxpayer money to help provide security for the fair. Would you support using county funds for security at similar community events in the future? What criteria should be used to decide which events receive county support?
I think the key word here is county. County fair. County sheriff, county protection. It's county. It's not Herman, it's not Owensville, it's not Drake. It's county. I have no problem with using the sheriff department and paying the sheriff department to help with security for the county. Now, when we have events here at the Oktoberfest, I do not expect the county to come in here and police any event here in Herman, or so the other way in Owensville, when it's just a sole event for that city or township. But as far as a countywide event, absolutely, I in support of that 100%.
Ron and Jim and I talked about this at length. We agreed to pay for the county to help with the security at the fair. I think which is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if other Oktoberfest or Rosebud fireworks display or anything else, if they ask for money, why not? We're giving it to the county fair in Owensville, which is a good thing. We also give money to the 4-H, which is the University of Missouri Extension Council down in Owensville for the fair, to a tune of about $22,000, I believe. So we are supporting the fair. We are supporting the kids. On the other hand, if we're talking about Oktoberfest in Herman, that brings a heck of a lot of revenue into the county. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't mind giving a little bit if we have the funds to spread the love around a little bit. Thank you.
Mr. Schulte, 3 roads in Gasconade County were paved in 2026 using Community Development Block Grant funding. If elected or re-elected, what road improvement projects would you prioritize next? And what factors would guide those decisions?
We were told which roads that the CDBG grant, what we could pave. It should have been underprivileged, blighted areas. That's how we got the grant. There are currently no grants out there that we're trying to get or available to us. Most of these grants are 80-20 match. We just got done with the Roofing Road Bridge, which was an 80-20 match. We are prioritized on our bridges by MoDOT. MoDOT will come out and inspect our bridges and give us a report. If they do not meet MoDOT's criteria, then they are not a candidate for a failing bridge. If we were to have extra funds available, I think the first thing you gotta look at is traffic count on the road. With the right-of-way, some people don't wanna give right-of-way up. Some people just simply do not want their roads paved. Our slabs are in good shape. We have only one bridge right now that's in poor condition on Hog Trough that we may have to, or that we've applied for a grant now, and hopefully we get that grant. And like I said, MoDOT is the one that dictates that to us. Currently, we kind of have abandoned our chip and seal program because our roadways need a lot of newer culvert pipes. They need a lot of ditching, and they need more rock on them. So until we get caught up, and that'll be the first time we've had some rough storms this year, so we've been playing catch up ever since the spring. But that's it, thank you.
Is that the slab on Old Truck Road?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, that's what I thought.
Mr. Manuel, the floor is yours.
I agree with Tim on this, as far as the most traveled roads, that they need the attention first. Used to, years ago, the county would put counters across these county roads and keep track of the traffic that was on it. I don't know if these, counters are still around. I don't know if they still work. I don't know if they're hid somewhere or in the back corner of a shed at Drake. I don't know, but, I feel that, we need to put a counter on every county road in this county. And the ones that have the most traffic are the ones that are gonna receive the attention as far as chip and seal. I don't care for the fact that we have to, sign over, more right-of-way as property owners to get this chip and seal done. I'm not quite sure just where that comes from. Years ago, we were told on Liskey Road that the first thing we had to do was post a speed limit sign of 25 miles an hour. That's been done. Your dad did it 15 years ago.
2010, roughly.
Yeah, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. The sign's still there. And nothing. But as far as the grants, the block grant, I'm unfamiliar with this. This is just uncharted waters for me. I don't know. Like I say, if I get in this office, I got a lot to learn, and I know it. And we're gonna keep plugging forward. And like I said, my big thing is if you want your road chip and seal, let's put a counter on it. Let's see just how much traffic you have. If you're gonna have 10 vehicles go down in a day, you're probably not gonna get it. But, thank you.
Number 12, the Sheriff's Department has traditionally replaced patrol vehicles around 120,000 miles, but there's been discussion about keeping vehicles longer. How would you balance vehicle safety, reliability, and the cost when deciding when patrol cars should be replaced?
Right now, my only experience with any of this has been from reading some of the commission meeting minutes over the last 2 years. I don't have a clue what the routine maintenance program is on any of the county vehicles, especially the sheriff department. If they don't have one in place, we definitely need one. The one thought that I have, I don't, at 120,000 miles, if you're getting rid of a vehicle, it better be some damn hard miles. I got a truck sitting in my farm, it's got 548,000 miles on it, and I'll fire it up tomorrow and go anywhere in the United States. I don't know, I'd love to see the maintenance records on these vehicles at $120,000. Now, I've seen these sheriff's vehicles go by our place wide open as hard as it can go. I don't know, when you come out of the corner at where our farm is, if there's an accident that is that bad that you gotta come by our place at 70, 80 miles an hour, maybe you need to be taking the helicopter instead of that car. Other thing, as far as new vehicles, if we're going through vehicles at 120,000 miles, instead of buying a brand new vehicle, I think the Highway Patrol gets rid of their vehicles at 50 or 60,000 miles. Let's start buying used Highway Patrol cars. They got life left in them, and we can buy them for probably 20, 30 cents on the dollar. And that's all I got for that.
I too would like to see our sheriff get a little bit more mileage out of these. However, he has run the numbers for selling a used patrol car, and he assures us that between the maintenance and keeping their pursuit rating up on these vehicles doesn't pan out financially. I have to take his word for that. We do look at it. We have recently started purchasing vehicles where Scott would like to lease them to keep them updated. So I think we're going on the right track with owning these vehicles, but the majority of them are leased. So now we have more of a leased purchase program where we're keeping the road up, keeping the pursuit specifications up on these things. Keep in mind, I do not have any jurisdiction over the sheriff. He is his own elected official. We kind of keep him to task on his budget, but it's hard to keep them guys in check a little bit. They got a tough job to do, and we have to give them the best resources because we live in a pretty violent world right now. So they got to keep their vehicles up to snuff. So thank you.
Mr. Schulte, in 2022, voters approved a half-cent sales tax for law enforcement. How should the county ensure that law enforcement sales tax revenue is used in a way that matches voter expectations while also maintaining a responsible overall county budget?
I see the mayor of Herman here, and I think they would agree that they like their cut from the law enforcement sales tax. Owensville gets it, Rosebud gets it, Gasconade gets some, Bland gets some. So every month that the law enforcement spreadsheet comes out, our treasurer Mike Fagan gives us a breakdown of how much we give each municipality from the law enforcement tax. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if the way Scott got this through the finish line was he gave each city a portion based on their population, their cut of the piece of the pie on this. So it's all transparent. You can go to our treasurer's office and ask for a report, but if that doesn't keep the taxpayer happy, I don't know what is, but it's all public knowledge. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Mummuller, the floor is yours.
Tim is correct that the sheriff's department is the one that figured out a formula, and like I said, it was based on population as to who gets what, and it is published at least once a month. I've seen it in the meeting minutes. It is public knowledge. With the sheriff's office being an entity of its own, I'm not quite sure just if we have through the commission if we have the power to actually put that under a microscope. I don't know. this is something that I am totally unaware of. So that's all I have on it.
All right, this will be our last question for the evening. What issues should the county be advocating for in Jeff City? Mr. Michael.
But it looks like to me that, we need more grant money for bridges, roads, upkeep. And what Tim was talking about a while ago about the 80-20 match on these bridges, and, they just need to spread this out and get them for some roads, some more grant money. I'm sure that there's all kinds of stuff that we could go to Jeff City and ask for, but, we're kind of a small piece of the pie, being a county. We're gonna be the last one to get anything. At this point, I'm not up on enough of that to know what we need, what we can't, what we can holler for, and what we're gonna be able to get from Jeff City or not. That's all I have.
My biggest thing is, they keep sending unfunded mandates down to the county level, especially us smaller class 3 counties. I get aggravated, we're a member of Missouri Association of Counties, and it just seems like our representatives and senators they don't listen to us. They hate to see us come into their office and raise hell with them because they just don't care what we say, and it's tough. So we have no say-so with them guys. I'm aggravated with them. But that's my 2 cents. Quit sending unfunded mandates down to the counties.
We are running out of
Oh,
time,
okay,
so
I
we're
got you.
gonna go to the closing statements. You each have 1 minute for a closing statement. Because Mr. Schulte opened it up with the opening statement, we're gonna, start with Mr. Mundwiller for the closing statement. So, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you to the library for putting this event on, and thank you all for coming. Looks like we have a pretty full house, we just got a couple empty seats. I've been asked why I'm running for this office. I got several reasons. Gasconade County's been pretty good to my family for generations. For those of you that don't know, my brother Mike celebrated 90 years and 4 generations of Gasconade County Abstract Company in Herman and Owensville. And I just felt it was time for somebody in my family to give back to this county. It's time to pull together and work together as a team. As I touched on before, the unemployment turnover in the road department's at an all-time high. It's time to get the county government to be transparent, put taxpayers' dollar to work, and get positive results. Let's stop some wasteful spending, treat the money as if you earned it yourself. Thanks again for coming. Fair Week is next week. Everybody go to the fair and enjoy yourself. And I want everybody here to have a safe trip home. Thank you.
As we close tonight, I will reflect on the progress we've made in the work ahead for Gasconade County. We serve nearly 15,000 residents across 524 square miles, with county roads covering more than 500 miles. I believe Gasconade County is stronger today than when I took office. During my first term as presiding commissioner, we invested in our courthouse, strengthened our sheriff and road departments, supported our employees, completed the courthouse roof project, added the new elevator, and made exterior improvements. I've also helped facilitate $2.6 million in grants for projects throughout our county, all completed on time and under budget. I've been proud to serve our community through St. George Church, Gasconade County Farm Bureau, Herman J.C.'s, Herman Park Board, and the Gasconade County R1 School Board, along with numerous regional boards with MRPC. I would sincerely appreciate your vote on August 4th. Thank you, and God bless Gasconade County. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Thank you to our candidates. This is a tough gig, doing one of these forums. You already gave them a round of applause. Let's give them another round of applause. They did a great job. remind everyone, we have a candidate forum just like this for the Missouri House District 61, 61st House District, on Monday, July 27th at our Owensville branch. So if any of you fall into that district, we'll be doing this at 6 p.m. at our Owensville branch next Monday. It's Bruce Sassman's district for those who are familiar. And also, before you leave tonight, until 8 o'clock, our recent art exhibit called Contemporary Visionaries is open. You can kind of walk down that hallway and enter and check out the exhibit. It's free, it's beautiful. There's about 60 pieces of artwork there. So once again, thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it.